Chapter 4. The next day I meet Mouse Ellis. She is also 10 and going into 5th grade. I was sitting on the front steps wondering what to do until it was time to go and register for day camp. Then I saw this girl walking up the road. I watched until she got to the front of my house. She looked at me and waved. I waved back. She came up our driveway and over to where I was sitting. She held up a purple yo-yo. "I'm Mouse Ellis, junior champion of Tarrytown," she said. "I can do 11 different tricks without stopping. How many can you do?" "I never stop to count," I told her. She opened her eyes very wide and offered me her yo-yo. "Go ahead and show me," she said. "I don't feel like it." "I'll bet you can't do shotgun 6 times in a row." "I'll bet I can," I told her. "Okay, let's see you do it then." "After you," I said. Okay, Mouse wound up her yo-yo, held it close to her hip, and next thing I knew, out it flew, right at me, 6 times in a row. "Very good," I said. She handed me her yo-yo. I examined it all over. "It's a Duncan Imperial," she told me. "The very best yo-yo ever made." "It's not bad," I said. "I'm ready any time you are," Mouse said. I stood up, held the yo-yo to my hip, threw it out, and whacked myself in the head on my first try. "Hey, are you okay?" Mouse asked. "Oh, sure," I told her, "but I guess I'll have to tell you the truth now. I didn't want to hurt your feelings before, but where I come from, yo-yos are for babies. I haven't done shotgun for about 8 years now. That's why I missed." Now, boys and girls, let me ask you this question. Is it possible that she hasn't done this for 8 years? She's only 2. Well, actually, she's only 10. So when she was 2, it would have been impossible for her to have done shotgun on a yo-yo. Mouse looked at me for a while, and I gave her one of my best stares right back. Then she sat down next to me and said, "You'll never know how glad I am that you moved in for the summer. I'm so sick of those Egrin boys." I couldn't help smiling. She wouldn't have stayed if she didn't believe I really was a yo-yoer when I was a little kid. "I'm sleeping in one of the Egrin boys' bedrooms," I said. Guess what I found in the desk? "What?" Mouse asked. 6 tubes of tester's glue and 27 jars of model paint. Mouse laughed. "You must be in Bobby's room. He's a model maniac." "He left a note for me," I said. "He signed it B.E. That's Bobby. He wrote that if I touch any of his models, he'll get me someday." "Ha ha," Mouse said. "It's all talk." "That's what I figured. Anyway, who'd want to fool around with his dumb old models?" "Not me," Mouse said. "I've got better things to do." "Me too. Say, is your real name Mouse?" "No, it's Merle, but everybody calls me Mouse." "You better watch out," I said. "My father's name is really Bertram, and everybody still calls him Buzz." "Well, I don't care if people call me Mouse forever. I like it a whole lot better than Merle. And if you ask me, Buzz is a whole lot better than Bertram. Bertram sounds awful. Nothing against your father, of course." "I didn't mean that I don't like your nickname," I said, "as long as you like to be called Mouse. Personally, I think it's a very nice name. It's much better than Sheila." "If you don't like Sheila, you should call yourself something else," Mouse said. "Like what?" I asked. "Oh, maybe Sugar or Sunny or something like that." "I don't like Sugar," I said, "but Sunny sounds pretty good. Sunny Tubman. Yeah, I kind of like that. Okay then, that's what I'll call you from now on, Mouse said. I told Mouse about Libby then, and how she says mother and father and pretends to be very grown up. And Mouse told me about her little sister, Betsy, who still wets the bed every night. We found out we are both going to the same day camp and the same pool. In a little while, Mouse stood up and started to yo-yo again, and I could see why she is junior champion of Tarrytown. While she was showing me her tricks, I noticed that her legs were a mess of scabs. I hoped they weren't catching. She must have seen me looking because she said, "They're leftover mosquito bites. I scratch them until they bleed and then I get scabs. Aren't they ugly?" I didn't tell her the truth. I said, "They're not so bad." Boys and girls, why do you think she didn't want to tell her the truth? If you said that she was probably trying to be polite, then you're correct. That's what I'm thinking too. When Mouse was done with her yo-yo trick, she said, "Let's take Jennifer for a walk." Jennifer? The dog, you mean? Yes, the Egrins always let me walk her. I love dogs. I never make friends with dog lovers. Do you have one at your house? I asked, thinking I might as well find out the truth right away. There was no point in getting to like her if it was all for nothing. No, Mouse said. Betsy is allergic to them. She gets hives from dogs. What a great idea. Why didn't I ever think of saying that? Me too, I told Mouse. I get awful hives from them. Boys and girls, is she telling the truth? If you said she's lying, you're right. You wouldn't believe how many big hives, how big my hives are. They'd make your scabs look practically invisible. They're so huge. Oh, rats, Mouse said. I was hoping you and me could take care of Jennifer all summer. I'm really sorry, I said. Is she really sorry? I don't think so. Okay, that's okay. I guess I'd rather have a girlfriend than a dog. I was very happy to hear that. We walked down the road to her house then. Mouse yo-yoed all the way. She lives at the bottom of the hill, right around the corner from the swimming pool. Her little sister was out front, dragging a candy box by a string. That's Betsy, Mouse said. She's 4. Why does she have a string around that box? She's walking her dog. That box is her dog? I asked. Yes, I told you how she gets hives from real ones, so that box is her pretend dog. She calls it Ooch. Betsy dragged Ooch over to us. Who are you? She asked me. I'm Sunny Tubman, I told her, trying out my new name. Oh, you don't look like a boy, Betsy said. She's not a boy, Mouse told her. Then how come her name is Sunny? It's not that kind of sunny, Mouse explained. It's sunny, like the sun in the sky. Oh, Betsy said, sunny, like a sunny day. That's it, Mouse said. My real name is Sheila, I said to Betsy. Maybe you should call me that. I didn't think about sunny sounding like sunny. Maybe it wasn't such a good name after all. Betsy said, "This is my dog, Ooch. Want to pet him?" Oh, sure. I reached over and tapped the candy box. Nice doggy, I said. Nice Ooch. Betsy picked up her box and held it to her ear. Then she put it down and said, "Ooch says he likes you, Sonny Sheila. He can always tell a person who really and truly loves dogs." I didn't say anything. I just smiled. Mrs. Ellis invited me to stay for lunch. I called home, and Mom said I could. Me and Mouse ate peanut butter sandwiches with the crust cut off, and Betsy had 4 slices of plain salami. No bread or anything. She keeps Ooch on the table next to her, and every few minutes she made believe she was feeding some of her salami to that box. "Ooch loves salami," she told me. "It's his favorite lunch." That afternoon, our mothers took us to the Cultural Arts Center to register for day camp. It is really a private school, but it doesn't look anything like one. It looks like an old house, surrounded by lots and lots of big trees. I have never seen a school like that. Mouse told me that she doesn't go there. She goes to regular public school, but Bobby Egren has been going there for years. That's because Bobby refused to do any of his work in public school. All he wanted to do was build models, and since the teachers wouldn't let him, he used to get mad and make a lot of noise. So he was spending most of his time sitting on the bench outside the principal's office. At this school, he is allowed to build all kinds of things. Mouse says her mother told her Bobby is some kind of genius, but she doesn't believe it. Mouse and I explored our day camp together. This is her first year too, because she was just 10, which means me and Mouse will be 2 of the youngest kids there. This makes Libby feel like a double big shot. I told Mouse that Libby thinks she is a great ballerina, but when she dances, she really looks like an elephant. Well, not exactly an elephant, but only because she is too skinny to be one. There are a lot of interesting activities at this day camp, but the one that looks best to me is pottery. You get to use a lot of mushy clay and try to shape it into some kind of bowl or pottery wheel. Me and Mouse signed up for that first thing. The pottery counselor's name is Denise. She was barefoot. I like to go barefoot too, but I'm afraid I might step on a bee and get stung. That happened to Peter Hatcher's little brother once. I think getting stung on the bottom of your foot would be worse than getting stung someplace ordinary like your arm. I wonder if Denise has ever stepped on a bee. When we got home, Mouse asked me to go swimming with her. She said, "What's your best stroke?" "Mine's the crawl." "I'm the same at every stroke," I said. "Then maybe you'll join the swimming team. We have races every Sunday." She didn't understand what I meant, I guess. So I said, "No, I really don't like swimming teams. They take all the fun out of it." "Well, grab your suit and let's go over anyway. It's steaming out." "I can't go in today," I said. I wasn't about to tell her I can't swim. "Why can't you go in?" she asked. "I'm just getting over a cold." "Oh, rats, you don't sound sick. Ask your mother." "I can't," I said. "I promised I wouldn't go in today." "Can't you even dunk your feet?" Mouse asked. That didn't sound bad, and it was a hot day. "Okay," I said. "I guess dunking my feet can't hurt. I'll go in and get my suit." But just then, my mother came out and said, "Sheila, we have to go over to the pool now. I want to sign you up for some swimming lessons. It's time you learned how to swim." Mouse opened her mouth, but nothing came out. Boys and girls, why do you think Mouse was so shocked about what her mom said? You'll find out in chapter 5.